I'm going to be straight up with all of you. I use a lot of time at work planning and moving around my calendar of games I'm going to be playing. It's one of the nicest things I get to do during dead parts of the day. It's very zen. Well, it would be if it wasn't tied into me not hitting my flagpole goals of 5 videos a week. That's where today's tool comes into play. Welcome back to another video here on Mummified Games. I'm Tony, and today we are taking a look at the organization tool Tape by Aeroform. Tape is a tool that is designed to keep you on top of tasks and projects. Folks, I was never an organized kid while in school. I barely used a planner or anything in school. I'm honestly surprised I graduated. My math teacher would say a number of problems from the book that I needed to get done for my homework. Well, then I just wrote those numbers at the top of the same sheet that I would later turn in. Hardly ever was a time where I needed to write down what was needed to be done for school. I think that's why I have such a great memory. Really flexed it out while in school. So eventually when I grew up and certain things needed me to remember them for longer or had a greater importance that a teacher wouldn't just remind me of the day before, I would adapt and start using digital calendars, typically Google Calendar, because I just use Google for everything. I say this as I'm reading this off of a Google Doc. I don't really have a lot of things going on in my personal life that needs an organizer for tasks that are coming up down the pipe. So this tool really isn't for me. I can't think of anything that I would need to use this for. Oh wait, yes I do. Today I spent an hour adapting my Google spreadsheet schedule for these games into Tape and learning how everything works. A word on how to use this program. I spent a long time just fiddling with this thing, trying to get a handle on how it works. So hopefully you all can understand what's going on in this tool, because it was explained in a terrible way for me. Well, maybe not terrible, but bad enough that I couldn't easily understand what was going on in this thing. So you open the program from the file folder, not itch. If you happen to have picked this up from a game store or library manager software thing, open it and install from the file browser. Once it's open, you can start making projects. This is where I made a mistake. So in the file that the tool comes in, there is a file named dropmeintape.txt, a text file that explains what the different parts of the tool are. Wish I knew this when I started. I was thinking it was a drop me in the action and let's learn about tape, a sort of README file. So drag this TXT file onto the program and it will show you what everything does along with how to use it. There are some SVG files in the themes folder, just like the TXT file from earlier. I recommend dragging these over the window for Tape and changing the theme to fit your mood, aesthetic, or ease of use. I used Rama for most of this. I like that it had different colors and a contrast to the different items in the tool to help show a difference of what is going on. Speaking of things in the tool, let me show you what's going on here. So when you open the tool for the first time, you're not going to see much. You need to start by creating a collection. This could be anything that might need smaller parts to mark as done. As an example, you could use this as different cosplays that you want to work on, or in my specific case, games I am meant to review. There should be a bar at the top of the tool that expands to show New Collection. Click on that and name it to whatever new thing you hope to work on. Within that collection, you can add a number of items that need to be worked on. This is done by hovering over the space just below the name of the collection. Going back to the cosplay example, it could be items that you need to make or buy. Wigs, shoes, pants, full body makeup, whatever are the next steps you need to get through to get this job done. They can be moved up and down in the list, whatever order you need them to be. You can order them by what needs to be done first before the next thing can be worked on, or just add them in as they come to your mind. In my case, I like to organize sort of in the order that they generally need to be done. I need to play the game, but I made a separate thing for filming a game if I played it at work. Write the script, then record what I wrote, clean up that audio, take out breaths, dead air, bad takes, edit the video together, render the video, and then do YouTube things. Those things including making a thumbnail, drafting the Tumblr post for people who need the scripts for these videos. Did you all know that I have a Tumblr where I post the raw scripts for those who need it or want to reference what was said in an episode, and maybe even get a direct quote, along with making the Tumblr, also other small YouTube stuff are done at this time. And I typically leave them in that order so that way I can just go straight through the list. Typically, I can't write a script until I play the game, and I can't edit the video until recording and filming is done. Each item can be placed in 6 different statuses. You can hover over any of these items and hit a number between 1 and 5, also 0. 0 clears the status, 1 is marked as priority, 2 is working, 3 submitted, 4 approved, 5 done. Using these terms to mean whatever you need it to be. I don't need to use a submitted or approved because I'm a one-man operation. So it's not like anything needs to be gone over by an editor. Well, other than future Tony when he's editing. But we don't like talking to editor Tony. He's not always the nicest guy. Love you, Tony. Hope you're having a good night. I predict that for most of my work, I'll be leaving these items blank or in a state of done or working. I already know what is a priority next because that's the order I have them in. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I just kept adding more and more things to tape to help me manage the workflow for the next 7 days. Is it easier than using a Google Sheet? Well, let's talk about that. What I've been talking about is fairly basic. There's nothing that an average user can do to help elevate this tool. There's a part of my Google Sheets where I have placed the date the video is slated to come out on. And when I miss a deadline, then I have to manually move multiple items forward and reorganize the sheet the next day at work, going into some cells and changing what the text says. Sometimes it can be a bit annoying, since it's me having to fix something because I wasn't able to plan better and get my goals done on time. I start to beat myself up over this stuff. There's no easy way from what I saw to just pick up a whole collection and move it to somewhere. I can't order things in a way that's more important than send to the front or send this to the bottom. You can change the order of the items in the collection, but not the order of the collections. I would love to be able to just drag and shift around things. This whole tool is designed to be lightweight and easy to use, but what makes it a quick jump into also keeps it from being something amazing. As some of you may have seen, I like to make my Wednesday uploads cover 5 smaller web-based games. Well, each of those games happen to have their own few things that need to be done, mostly play, film, and script. I can do those things before working on the main videos, recording, clean up, edit, and render. So I can make a collection for the whole video, but I need to make a side collection that's just for the individual game. I can't make a collection named Web Games number 4, and then a sub-collection named after the 5 games I'll be talking about, and then inside that sub-collection have play, film, and script, moving back up to the main collection, continue with items such as record, clean, etc., etc., etc. It's little things like that which left me disappointed. Or if I needed to make a new collection for anything that needs more than just a single level of detailed work to accomplish, then what if I was able to say, hey, item X, if collection Y is less than 100% done, then you can mark this item as working on. If it's at 100% done, then mark item X as done. That would be a great thing. Maybe I can make that into a thing like in the text editor. And if-then sort of statement. There's no... I don't even know how I would describe this, but I'm gonna try. I can't do certain parts of the video making process during certain times of the day. I can't play full-fat games at work. I would rather not record my lines when my roommates are home, all to ensure the cleanest of audio. I can play web games at work, along with writing scripts for games that I've already played. What I'm saying is that certain tasks can only be done at certain times. So what I would love from a schedule tool or program is a way for me to pull it up and quickly see, okay, it's 4 p.m. I can do these number of things. And maybe it shows how many things I have left that I could do at the current time. Tape obviously doesn't have that. So it's left for me to know what's due and what I can work on right now. Not a big thing that I need to shoulder, I can easily do that. There's no time on task feature, I know that I'm currently running way over on writing the script, and that's going to cause vocal talent Tony to read more lines, and then, in turn, cause editor Tony to have to clean up that much more audio. That would be a nice thing to have, an option to see how long I've spent on a task, or have a timer on it to say, hey, Tony, stop writing, you need to move on. That's something that I used to do with just a stopwatch app. And what I think is lacking the most from this tool is a copy and paste function, all for the items in a collection. Every game I review needs a collection, and inside that collection, it needs, and say it with me kids, play, film, script, record, clean, edit, render, and lastly, YouTube things. So having to type that out every time I make a new collection for a new game is so time consuming. Yeah, it's easy to just hit enter and start a new item, but still, Control C, Control V, bud, something, anything in the right click menu for this tool. I'm dying out here. Okay, but for real, I need to wrap this one up if I want to make sure that it's done by midnight Pacific tonight. I would say you should pick this up if you have a lot of not super complicated things that you need to keep track of, but don't need a ton of depth or modularity to your organization. I think that's a good way to put it. If you do have huge complicated things going on, well then maybe this tool isn't for you. What do you all think? For those of you who have used this tool and are using it regularly to keep your ducks in a row, what draws you to it and keeps you attached to it? For those of you who don't use this one, is there any other organization software out there that you like to use to keep yourself straight? What features do you use and what makes it so great? Or are you just using Google Chrome like what I assume everyone else is doing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. In the meantime, I made it to 8 pages on this script. Writer Tony is quite happy. Writer Tony is quite happy. Well, Voice Tony isn't happy. Oh my god, end this video so I can get it out to the world before midnight. Criminy, Editor Tony. Okay, I'm ending it. For those of you who are up late like me, or if you're in the middle of the day, do the YouTube dance. Like, sub, hit the bell, comment your thoughts, share, and tell someone you know about these videos. It all helps a lot. And as always, friends, keep digging. We'll make it out sometime. See you in the next one.